Hi everybody, it's Dawn here from the International College of Energy Healing, and today's video is all about colour, how it affects us and how we can bring colour into our life for wellness. And also I'm going to cover how we can use it to help us to develop our psychic abilities. So just like sound, colour has a frequency which can be experienced in our bodies. It's absorbed by the eyes, the skin, the skull, and our magnetic energy field called the aura. Now, the energy of colour affects us on all levels. So that's to say physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. Every cell in the body needs light energy. So colour energy has widespread effects on the whole of our bodies. So what is colour? So colours are the way that our brains, by use of our eyes, interprets electromagnetic radiation of a wavelength. It's what the eyes see when light reflected off an object. Now, light is made of electromagnetic waves, and these waves spread out from any light source. Now, different colours have different wavelengths, which is the distance between the corresponding parts of two of the waves. So you can see from this image that light refracted through a prism separates each wavelength, which we've given a name to. The longest wavelength of light that humans can see is red, and the shortest is violet. Light is energy, and the colour is the product of the interaction of energy and matter. The wavelength, frequency and quantity of the energy of every colour ray are fixed for each. So this means that each have a specific wavelength, a certain frequency and a particular amount of energy. So our eyes are sensitive to electromagnetic radiation only at wavelengths around 380 and 780 nanometers. So this is a small segment, and it's called the visible spectrum or visible light. Visible light can be broken down into numerous electromagnetic frequencies, and frequency relates to a colour of the rainbow. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue and indigo and violet. Each colour on the spectrum can vary in saturation, lightness and darkness, and it's estimated that a human eye can distinguish about 10 million colour variations. So it's known both in the metaphysical and the scientific community that colour plays a major role in setting up a particular mood or state of mind. Colour does affect our feelings, our moods and our emotions. So a blue room might produce a feeling of calm, a red produces a feeling of stimulation. And it's this knowledge that's been applied to marketing, to how we construct and paint hospitals and other care-based institutions quite successfully. So colour is so much part of our lives that we've even tagged emotions to them. So if you've heard in the pink or green with envy, rose tinted glasses, or seeing red, feeling blue. It's thought that colour is so important to us that our very wellness depends on it. Chromotherapy is a method of treatment that uses the visible spectrum, so all of the colours of electromagnetic radiation, to cure diseases. It's a centuries-old concept used successfully over the years to cure various diseases and issues. It uses the premise that a body comes into existence from colour and it's stimulated by colour. Furthermore, it suggests that colours are responsible for the correct working of the various systems that function in the body. Chromotherapy tells us that all organs and limbs of the body have their own distinct colour. So that includes all organs, cells and atoms, and it's said that they all exist as energy and each has its frequency and colour. So when various parts of the body deviate from these expected vibrations, it can cause disease and malfunctioning. So the application of a colour to the issue will seek to resolve it and bring it back into alignment with its normal vibration. So colour medicine isn't a new healing modality, it's centuries old, and it's as old as other forms of medicine. Phototherapy, light therapy, was practiced in ancient Egypt, in Greece, in China and in India. The Egyptians utilized sunlight as well as colour for healing. So we've talked about colour affecting us on all levels, so physical, spiritual, emotional, and every cell in our body needing colour and light. However, it is important to remember that while there are common attributes to colour, our reaction to it can be very personal, as our reaction to colour can differ between cultures and our upbringing, personal experiences, and our personalities, I guess. So I believe that the effect of colour is undeniable, and we can bring colour into our life in ways that help us to stay healthy, physically, mentally and emotionally. So here's a little overview of the effects of colour. Now, disclaimer, this isn't intended to replace medical advice or treatments. So red. Red links with and stimulates the root chakra at the base of our spine, causing the adrenal glands to release adrenaline. This results in greater strength. Red causes hemoglobin to multiply and increase energy and raises body temperature. It's excellent for anemia and blood-related conditions. It's excellent for areas that have become stiffened or constricted. It brings warmth, energy and stimulation, so therefore good for fatigue, colds, chilly and passive people. Now, red energizes heart and blood circulation. It's said to build up the blood and heighten a low blood pressure. It energizes all organs and the senses, so hearing, smell, taste, vision and touch. It increases sexual desire and activity. It stimulates ovulation and menstruation. Now, red is a very stimulating colour, as I've talked about, so we need to think carefully about whether or not we actually want to paint our bedroom red if we're looking to create a calm oasis. So orange. It's said to stimulate the lungs, respiration and digestion. It can increase the activity of the thyroid, relieves muscles, cramps and spasms. It increases the amount of mother's milk. Orange is warm, cheering, non-constricting. It has a freeing action upon the body and mind, relieving repressions. Orange shows us new possibilities and other options in our life. It stimulates creative thinking and enthusiasm, and it helps assimilate new ideas. It's also helpful in dealing with excess sexual expression. And finally, orange links very strongly with the sacral chakra. So yellow. Yellow can help to strengthen the nerves and the mind. It can also help awaken mental inspiration and stimulate higher mentality. So it's an excellent colour for nervous or nerve-related conditions or ailments. It also energizes the muscles. Dark yellow soothes pains in the nerves, so shooting pains. And generally yellow links with and stimulates the solar plexus or the psychic center. So it can be used for psychic burnout or other psychic related conditions or ailments. It activates and cheers up depressed and melancholy people. It gives us a lust for life, and it helps the pores of our skin and aids scarred tissue in healing itself. Yellow can be used for conditions of the stomach, the liver and the intestines, and it speeds up the digestion and assimilation. Green is known to affect blood pressure and the conditions of the heart. It has both an energizing effect and a moderating or soothing effect. Green brings psychological and emotional harmony and brings that balance to it. It's the colour of nature and the earth. So it's balance and harmony in essence, and it possesses a soothing influence both upon our minds and our bodies. It's neither relaxing nor astringent in its impact. Now, green can be used just about for any condition in need of healing. It's said to cure hormonal imbalances. It stimulates growth hormone and rejuvenation. It cleans, purifies us from germs, bacteria and rotting material. Green harmonizes the digestion, stomach, liver and gall. It has a healing effect on kidneys and it increases immunity. It builds up muscles, bones and tissues. It stimulates inner peace, strengthening the nervous system, and it links with and stimulates the heart chakra. So now let's look at blue. It's cooling, and it's an astringent. Dr. Edwin Babbitt, in his classical book, The Principles of Light and Colour, he states that the blue ray is one of the greatest antiseptics in the world. Blue links with and stimulates the throat chakra, and the throat chakra is often referenced as the power center and the greatest center in the body. And that's because it's the primary center of expression and communication. Blue can be used for any type of ailment associated with speech, communication, or the throat. It's excellent for laryngitis or inflammation of the larynx. It cools down inflammation, fever, high blood pressure, stops bleeding, relieves the bursting of headaches, calms strong emotions like anger and aggression or hysteria. Blue brings tranquility. It's really good for anti-itching and anti-irritation, so rednesses of skin and rashes and things like that. And it also is very stress releasing and calming. So let's look at indigo. It's a great purifier of the bloodstream, and it also benefits mental problems. It's a freeing and purifying agent, and it combines the deep blue of devotion with a trace of stabilizing and objective red. Indigo is cool, electric, and an astringent. It links with and stimulates the brow chakra or the third eye, and it controls the pineal gland. It governs both physical and spiritual perception, and it can be of great assistance in dealing with ailments of the eyes and the ears. Now, violet and purple. Leonardo da Vinci proclaimed that you can increase the power of meditation tenfold by meditating under the gentle rays of violet, and you'll see that as it's found in the windows of churches. These are colours of transformation. They heal melancholy, hysteria, delusions, and alcohol addiction, and they bring spiritual insights and renewal. These colours slow down an overactive heart, stimulate the spleen and white blood cells, so really good for immunity. So these colours bring sleep as they smooth mental and emotional stress. They decrease sensitivity to pain, and they help in detoxification. So let's look at white or clear, and just about everyone has heard of surrounding people with the white light of healing and protection. White light raises the vibration of one's consciousness and the body, bringing harmony in all aspects of one's life. Directing white into a part of the body that needs healing is one of the fastest ways to bring about healing totally. White is the perfect colour, for it has all colours in perfect balance and harmony. It's the colour of the awakened spirit, the light of perfection, the light of the cosmic consciousness, the divine. Now brown, grounding with a strong connection to the earth. Good for anyone who's prone to catastrophizing or, drama queens. It's got steadying influence. And black, again, grounding and protective. Using black during a time of sensitive transition can help to cope with loss. So that's why funeral clothes are black, because it helps mourners to work through the grief process. Now be careful when using black, as overuse can impact on anyone who's prone to depression or feeling down, because it increases these feelings. So now look at grey. It takes the edge off things and it muffles and softens. It's calming for anyone with shattered nerves. It's protective and it helps with stress. And pink, well, it heals grief and sadness. It restores youthfulness, and it brings you into contact with your feelings. Now, I don't claim to be an expert in colour and colour therapy, but I do use colour in my crystal healing treatments. Choosing crystals for their colour properties and introducing them to a client's energy field can be extremely beneficial. And there are so many other ways that you can bring colour deliberately into your life. So most obviously is what we wear. Introducing a coloured scarf, a tie, socks, or a blouse is an easy way to bring a colour into your life. Think about your environment as well, the paint on your walls, but also cushions, throws, anything that you can bring into your home with a pop of colour. Think about your bed covers. Does the bed cover colour bring you a sense of calm and restful sleep? If not, consider changing them to a colour that will, if that's what you're trying to do. We can also introduce colour into our bodies through what we eat and drink. Everything we put in our body will have an effect, and we can be more thoughtful about the colour choice of foods. I will link some videos that I found to be really good ones about colour in the description below, and some other resources if you are interested and I've piqued your interest in becoming more mindful about colour. So now for how you can use colour to increase your psychic ability. As I mentioned earlier, colour has a frequency and a vibration, which we can perceive it and feel it. So for this activity, you'll need either a selection of coloured ribbons, or I've sometimes used the paint sample cards from local hardware and DIY stores. So I advise you to choose the 7 colours of the rainbow. And when you have your ribbons or your paint cards, get into a nice relaxed state. And one by one, lay them on your chest and pay attention to how you feel with each one. Take notes if you need to. You might have feelings, you might see images associated with the colour, you might experience smells, memory links, or even hear words. Pay attention to them all. And when you've done that, put each of them in an envelope and shuffle them so you don't know the orders of them. One by one, lay them on your chest again and see if you can intuit and lean into the colour vibration. Write down the colour for each one, making sure that you keep the envelopes in order. Then open them up and see how you did. This is an activity that you can practice often to help you to develop your psychic senses. So there you have it, a little exploration into the world of colour. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you like content like this, please do consider subscribing and hitting the bell so that you're notified when I upload a new video. Thank you for watching, and ta-ta for now.